Hey guys, it's Rafi from Game, and we're here with Randy Varnell from Gearbox Software, and we're talking about Incursion, a new game mode for Battleborn. Now tell us, what are the main differences in standard MOBA and Battleborn Incursion?
Well, first off, in standard MOBA, you're playing top-down characters. You kind of have that old RTS style control. I mean, one of the awesome things about Battleborn is we bring that very comfortable first-person shooter style control to all your characters. So it's a very comfortable movement scheme, very familiar controls if you played any other first-person shooter games before. So Incursion captures a little bit of that MOBA feel, but really brings it to the first-person angle. So not only do you have the controls, there's a little bit of elevation. You can get some perches in a few places of the map. We have a couple of places built out specifically for snipers that really kind of channel it in, and then some other areas. Now, if you're comparing it to like other standard MOBA game modes, we bring in, there's some camps where you can go and not only defeat NPCs, but recruit them to your side. We have thrall camps in Incursion. You go defeat the thralls, and then you recruit them. They fight on your side. They add to that push down the lane toward the sentries. Also, instead of just static towers to fight, because it's kind of boring to just sit there and hit a static tower, in the place of that, we have these awesome spider sentries. They move around, they attack, they have these super shields. They fight you almost like a boss from any standard great first-person game or almost MMO style of boss fights. Just like you do kind of in MOBAs, you're going to want to bring some minions down the lane, but rather than just them being the strong attack against the sentries, they really do strip that shield off and open up the attack for you, which is really what it's about. We watched the games earlier that you played in. You guys were, it took you a while to get that sentry whittled down, and for the longest time, the other team had just a little bit of a damage advantage on you. But you guys were able to bring it back, get a great counter push, take the sentry shield down, and crush the enemy sentry, which just barely pulled out the win for you guys at the end. It was really exciting to see.
Now, with certain MOBA games like Dota, sometimes the gear is very, very important with the way that you play your character and things like that. Now, how is gear important in Battleborn?
Yeah, I think especially when you get into competitive levels of play, it can make the difference in the match. We've been very careful to try to blend that in. We don't want gear to be the only thing. If you especially look at the MOBA formulas, gear is a massive part of what specs out a character. We ran some early tests on Battleborn and found out with as much of your brain as you have to spend moving around and aiming in the first-person controls, it's really hard in an action game with so much going on at the same time, really to spend all of that time thinking about gear and counterpicking and all of that. So we've simplified that a lot, rather than a full item shop and all of the gear spec you have to do. Outside of the match, you pick 3 pieces of gear that you bring in a loadout in Battleborn and then have to pay to activate those in the match. It still gives you that great kind of RPG shop feel. It gives you the chance to choose the time of your customization and spend a lot of time thinking about very particular customization outside the match. While you're playing, while you're moving, while you're shooting, while you're jumping around, it's not nearly as complex. It still makes a big difference. But we wanted to be sure that the complexity is moved out of game to a time where you have time to think and carefully plan the gear and come up with that set of gear that's perfect for you.
With games like these, obviously team-based multiplayer, there's going to be a lot of communication needed for all the players. Is there going to be some sort of outside voice communications, sort of like prompts and things like that, and other than pings, I guess?
Sure, well, absolutely. Voice chat works on whatever platform you're going on for, whether you're PS4, Xbox One, or Steam. We integrate those platform voice chat into the game. So anytime you jump in with a party, you have your platform voice chat enabled. It puts you in a team, it puts you in a group, and that will all automatically work. You have the standard options to mute annoying players who are just playing loops of songs in the background or whatever, but we have the standard voice chat there available. We also do have the contextual ping that gives you a little bit more communication information to work with that. But generally, we find that with the combination of ping and voice chat, it gives you most of what you want. If we hear players really wanting some other methods of being able to communicate and all of that, I would love to hear those suggestions and ideas, and we certainly want to look to supporting our community as the game goes live.
So now, with something like this, is very, very competitive. How do ranked matches work in the future of Battleborn?
Sure. Right now, we just use, there's only one competitive pool, but we do use skill-based matchmaking to try to be sure that your team or you as an individual are matched with people in the same skill ideas. We haven't talked anything about future support of tournament mode or doing tiers or ranked play and all of that. There's something that we would love to support. We really poured all of our energy just to be sure that the game at the start is pretty balanced and is a really good, solid game with a lot of content for players. If people really get into it, and we watch a lot of people play Battleborn and get into that, those are things that we'd really love to continue to support further on in that. But we do at launch plan to fully support skill-based matchmaking to try to keep you playing against players that are your same skill and experience level.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thanks for that. Thanks for talking to us about multiplayer and Incursion. We'll see you guys soon. That's us.
Magic slinging character, and you actually see the arms in the first person model when you're running through.
Yeah.
She's really cool, kind of chaos magics, do these big explosive shadow pillars. Really fun, kind of in and out, really aggressive damage dealer.
Awesome, sounds wicked. So you did mention that Battleborn is a first-person shooter.
Sure.
Now, this has been thrown around all the time. Development companies bring up first-person shooters all the time. What makes Battleborn kind of different as a first-person shooter?